Thousands of Spartans from 85 different countries across the globe flocked to Al Wathba to tackle monstrous sand dunes beneath the blue open sky. In the men's field, Sergei Perelygin, who has 3 Spartan regional championship titles to his name, along with nearly 20 career podiums in the desert terrain, returned with a vengeance to dethrone the reigning champion Ryan Atkins and take first place in a time of 1 hour 3 minutes and 47 seconds over the 10-kilometre course. Atkins crossed the finish line in 1 hour 3 minutes and 59 seconds, followed by Jeremy Gachette just a few minutes later.
Today I feel my dream. I began to Spartan from 2015, and it always was my dream. But it's only second attempt where I can come for World Championship, and I feel I can do it, but it was much stress for me. Continuous from here with Ryan, very good battle, but this race I couldn't do it. I'm very happy. Believe in your dream, it can happen. Thank you, Spartan.
To no one's surprise, in the women's race, the greatest Spartan racer of all time, Lindsay Webster took top spot. This win, in a time of 1 hour 12 minutes and 49 seconds, was not only a personal milestone for Webster, but she also made Spartan history with the most consecutive wins of all time, 17. The Spartan GOAT hasn't lost a Spartan race since September 2019.
I can't believe it's already finally over because we spent so long to prepare for this event, and then it's over within an hour, and you spend so many days in your hotel being nervous and all this preparation, and so I'm excited that I won, and I'm sort of sad that it's already over, and yeah, it's beautiful. It's such an experience. And athletes love to push themselves really, really hard. We love that feeling. We're strained like that, and after sitting in the hotel room for so long and feeling excited for this event, it just feels so good to get out and run.
As a member of the Spartan community, you can save up to 60% off hotels worldwide by booking with Hotel Engine. Go ahead and use this QR code to claim your free account, and you'll have access to search for rooms, find the perfect fit, and earn both hotel loyalty points and Hotel Engine rewards at the same time, which can quickly add up to getting you free hotel stays. Plus, if you need to book for a group, we'll call hotels on your behalf and negotiate rates for you. All you have to do is sit back, review your options, and choose the best hotel for your group. Once you book a hotel, whether it's for a group or for yourself, our team's available 24/7 to help modify reservations and make sure your stay goes smoothly. And if you're not a Spartan but want to get up to 60% off hotels, all you need is a business email to sign up. There are no fees, no contracts, and no catches. Go to hotelengine.com to sign up with your business email today. And for all the Spartans out there, visit hotelengine.com/Spartan to claim your account.
Hello and welcome deep in the desert of the UAE. We're in Al Wathba in Abu Dhabi. I'm here with Steve Hammond. Steve, good afternoon. We are back for the Spartan World Championship. The 3K is coming up, and mate, I'm so excited. This is the first time we're going to see the solo format of the 3K.
Here in Abu Dhabi, yes. We've had the series in the US, which was great. We had 5 brilliant races out there, and they had a 3K series in Europe. This race is going to be epic. I mean, we have a beautiful course laid out there. It's really sandy, as we obviously know, in the desert. You can get the salt plains. But we had a taste last year of the kind of the 3K format with the team event on this exact course. We've added in a little bit special extra with the double sandbag carry. that we saw a few of the other races, especially in the North American series, that are going to be rather tricky. So I think it's going to be absolutely brilliant. It's the format. Do you want to talk about the format?
Let's do
the
that.
1-1-3.
Yeah, let's absolutely talk about the format. Let's just go straight into it. We'll talk about the weekend. There's all sorts of things I want to tell everybody about this. It's all happening out there. Let's talk about the format first and foremost, because that's why we're here. And this format has sort of grown over the years, and this is really the first really big championship we're going to see it at, although, of course, we can talk about Mexico and other things we've seen before. But take us through, essentially, what's coming up in 10 minutes' time.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is have, we'll see the guys go off. So I think right now we've got 37, 38 signed up for the men's race. So they'll be split up into 3 different heats in round 1. So round 1 is a 1K event. 1K, 10 obstacles. The course is absolutely stellar. They'll be running out a little bit of sand running, very, very soft. You'll see it in a minute as they soft, really hard running down by the fence. They duck underneath the fence and do a couple of obstacles down there. So they've got over walls, they've got hurdles, and you'll see the monkey bars, which is their kind of first overhead obstacle with a failure point on it. Then they're into the dunk wall just to get there a little bit of the nitty gritty in there, and they're straight into the hurdles and double sandbag carry. Double sandbag carry is it's a bit of a monster, and it could be a slight game changer. It slows the race down slightly. It is a slightly longer route that we're used to. The 1K course, I measured it. It's not 1K. It's a little bit extra, especially with that carry.
Weights on the double sandbag, Steve.
Weights right now, we've got 30 pounds for the women and 45 pounds for the men. So double that up, you got 90 and 60 for the double sandbag carry. And then they run into the finish, and you've got this beautiful little finish sequence that you can see right there on your screens. You've got the A-frame, you've got the slip wall, you've got a really good multi-rig with a very tricky kind of rope ending onto the laser pistols and into the finishing line for that 1K.
Laser pistol is awesome, and you guys are going to, if you haven't seen it before in the Spartan format, maybe if you've come from the modern pentathlon world, you've seen it. It's really good to watch. There's Ryan Atkins on screen, champion in many forms of Spartan racing. We'll get into talk about some names in a minute. Stevie, I think it's really important to remind everybody who may not be so familiar with this format that these are elimination rounds.
They are eliminations. So that was round 1. So in round 1, what you're going to have 3 different heats. So they're kind of seeded out into their heats. Round 1 will have 3 heats. They go out and just do their 1K. And then they come back, they find out. So it's 2/3. So obviously if there's 37 people go through, what's the maths on that? Was that 25?
Yep.
25 people. 25 people will go through to the next round. So round 2. Now round 2 is also a 1K event. And then to get to the final, only half of those will get through to the final. Obviously, rounding up, 25 will be a 13.
Yep.
So 13 people head to the final. That's for the men. For the women, it's 15 and 8. And I'll explain why we kind of went straight to the semi-finals for the women in a minute.
Yeah, exactly. So pause there. So 3 rounds for the men. So Q1, Q2, into the final. That's what you guys will see. And we kind of go back and forth. So you watch men, watch women.
Yep.
The women will have 1 qualifying round with 15 competitors, and we'll go into the final. I mean, you may as well explain now.
So they go straight into the semi-final. We do it on kind of the numbers. So we can have more, the more numbers that we have, the more rounds that we have, which is fine. So 15 signed up. Difficult thing to qualify for, and 15 people signed up, and then half of those will go through. Obviously, running up again, that'd be 8.
Now you can see on the screen there, you see those white tents sort of in the middle of your screen on the left-hand side. That's where the athletes are staged. So all the athletes will be in a holding area there. It's pretty familiar if you watch, skiing events and events like that, maybe cyclocross, where you kind of stage athletes at the start line. And then they'll go from there. Then they kind of come back around, as Steve said, for that 1K.
So super exciting. They've figured out what heats they're in now, and then they're starting on the line. So heat 1, round 1, it's just about to begin. I can kind of see them lined up there. You've got Gary Ballinger at the front, just giving them the final run through of all the obstacles, the roll-ins, and the format process as well.
Talking about heat. Well, look, we're in the desert. We're hosted by Abu Dhabi Sports Council out here for the third year running, and I just want to say massive thanks to the Abu Dhabi Sports Council for having us. It's always such a brilliant experience out here, and that's something that comes to mind is that those of us that aren't living in conditions, let's say, like this, can find it pretty taxing. And then you take it to an athletic level. Yeah. It's a whole new challenge. So right now out there, it's about 30 degrees Celsius, it's about 80 Fahrenheit, I think.
Roughly
Is
around
that right?
there, about
Yep.
80
something.
80 something.
Which doesn't sound that hot, actually. But it's this strange sensation that the heat out here is like just burning during the day, and we're in the coolest part of the year. So I've all sorts of thoughts about this, by the way, in terms of the way that OCR is so interesting for this. So they're basically off right now anyway, so we're right on time. And the men are away. Stevie, take us through it. Who are we going to see at the front?
So round one, we're going to find out who's in round one. I can see a Rylan Shadeg in there, who's obviously, this is one of his A races. We'll see who else is in kind of this heat one of round one, and
space them out in the beginning, because you can imagine, in this format, if all the athletes hit a rig at the one time, it gets pretty messy. So the idea right now is that athletes can get a little bit of space. And strategically, Steve, what's going through the minds of the athletes right now?
So I was going to talk a little bit about this of the tactics. So they know only 2/3 go through. And it's not done by placement in your heat. It's done by time. And what this encourages, actually, David, is it's kind of a cheeky way of doing this. It encourages to not be complacent.
Yep.
Because you could be at the front, you can just cruise, but a whole heat could be faster than the fastest person in that heat.
Because we've got to remember. So basically, guys, what Steve's saying, the 37 athletes in the men that are going through in Q1, they're going to be spaced by 2 minutes in between each.
Yes.
And so just because you might have been cruisy at the front and you might be saving yourself, doesn't necessarily mean the next heat that goes off isn't going to be quicker than your time.
This pays in the tactics as well, because you'll see, there's a lot of different favourites in this, and we can't quite see face to face exactly who's that at the start. The over-unders, and then they'll be running around the little birdhouse there. And
birdhouse.
It is. All the birds have been living in it. It's great. And then I've been out here a while.
You've been living in there.
9 days in the desert. It's been great. And then you see them here on the monkey bars, which is going to be quite exciting. But you can see that they've kind of settled down into a bit of a pace now. And then we're going to see the obstacles take a bit of their toll.
It's already nasty in the beginning, because when you hit the first hurdle and then you go to the under, you're going from upright to on the deck. Yep. You're in the sand already, and then this thing's pretty grueling. And of course the pace being 1K is just really ripping. And here's the dunk wall, as Steve mentioned in our opening, just to add a little bit of discomfort. I mean, sure, you cool down a little bit, or that water actually gets pretty hot.
Yeah, you actually saw there were some big placement changes there. I think it was a UAE athlete that went from first to, I think, fourth or fifth.
We'll do our best. Here we go. Now we've actually been able to tell you exactly.
I think that's Emmanuel Defoe maybe coming under first of all. Very experienced in this 3K event. It might not be him. It might be Pavel Hardina. It's difficult to see from here, but you can see Shadeg. Shadeg's right there. And then also the other Czech athlete.
Rylan Shadeg won the 3K in Big Bear back in May, so he's no stranger to the format, although it's new.
And they're just about to come up to this absolutely crazy double sandbag that you'll see in a minute, which
Steve takes delight in.
Oh, I do take delight in. It was actually not so long ago, actually, about 2 hours ago, I did a good test on it. It's brutal. David, it's really hard.
A good test on it is when he took me and told me to carry the double sandbag. Was that the test you're talking about?
You dropped him about 200 yards down the way.
I got into the four-wheel drive.
So you can see the double there. You got Rylan Shadeg kind of taking control of this.
Now look back. Look at this. He's forgot the other sandbag. So there you go. Forget it. Shadeg now in the lead.
Yeah, it's such a difficult, and we're going to constantly talk about tactics. Do you really go and blast this? Because the final is David Lebois there, and Yeah, from France. Got a few people there really struggling with the. That's Nicolas Dam. That's Matty from the UK. He's going to catch up with him. It's really going to be very, very taxing of how these guys deal with that.
It's just so awkward getting the second sandbag up.
And what's interesting, because we did this a couple of times in North America.
Yeah.
And those who have practiced this,
yeah.
and I can tell you right now that this is a tactic. Rylan Shadegg has practiced this a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why he was so smooth on that.
Look at the way he's gripping that rear sandbag, though.
He's
like
got it. He's got them both in there, and off he goes. That's a very quick double sandbag that he did.
By the way, he makes that look pretty easy. The way he was carrying that sandbag behind him, gripping on like that, that's not easy, guys.
You can see them slipping off,
yeah,
the sweat and the sand, and you got to use that. And he's a climber as well.
Hence the grip on the sandbag.
Hence the grip on the sandbag. So this is really has spread them out, and that's going to be a bit of a game changer for this, because imagine in the final they got to do that 3 times. So this is what I'm going to bring this back to the tactics.
Yeah.
Do you settle a kind of, risk it to be last in your heat, or do you just gun all the way through?
Well, so let's talk about that for a sec, coming up to the A-frame. The athletes really don't get much notice of their seating until just before. So it's not like you can sit around and sort of strategize about, I know I'm in heat 1 and in heat 2 is X, Y, and Z.
There was an idea for that as well.
Exactly.
Because, we don't want people to be, settling in. Although, Ryland's keep on pushing it. He probably wants to, establish a good time, which I think he has done, and just needs to be a wee bit careful on the rig. And there was a penalty.
Ryland's just being methodical, let's call it.
And is that Pavel Hodina? I think he's in that list. We're get to know these athletes as they kind of come through. A little bit difficult to
Hello
work
to
out
all our
who's who.
friends, of course, over in Central Europe and Eastern Europe. Hope everybody's going well. There's plenty of representatives from that region in this race. We've got Vladar from Slovakia. Poland's represented out there. Ryland now.
Finishing brilliantly the rig, and then he's on the laser shoot, and he's had a lot of practice at this, and is a good shot.
Just explain what's happening there, Steve. For
so if you see the little black circle, that's what they're aiming for in the actual target. They get 20 seconds to achieve 3 hits. Now the penalty for this is just exactly that, 20 seconds. So there is no penalty there's no penalty loop or failure or anything like that. It's just if you run out of 20 seconds, that's it.
Yeah, you get a 20-second plus onto your overall finish.
Which is
time.
Interesting, because Ryland did that in about 5 seconds. So there's David.
Yeah.
There's David O'Brien's coming in.
8th in Madrid in the 3K European Series.
Yep.
Certainly not used to this kind of heat.
But he's probably a good shot as well. And
that's Madrid, Stevie. Yeah. And you're moving to here in the UAE. Go ahead.
One of the favourites coming into this got VJ Jones. Told me that he's been practicing his double sandbag carry as well. So this is looks like heat 2 of round 1. Yeah.
What do you think, Steve? Practicing the double sandbags, just better just grab the sandbags and train with those, or just mix in a bunch of rock climbing and grip strength work instead?
Well, of course, yes, but like if you practice specifics,
I agree.
It's very, very, very helpful. You can see Angel Quintero kind of waiting his turn to kind of get in there. You've got Leon Cufford. There's people falling over. There's all sorts of shenanigans going on there. It's losing a bit of time, but look at that. As Angel Quintero taking a little bit of ground, making up on that.
Angel
Fantastic.
From Mexico made his way over for the North American Elite Series, Steve.
He did. He actually won the last one in Mexico with a very dominating performance. Now, obviously, each 3K course is a little bit different. We've kind of designed some have a bit of speed in it, some have slightly easier obstacles. The one in Mexico, it did have a double sandbag carry, but it was on very fast. It was almost on like a football pitch. It was just perfect manicured grass, not like what they're running on here.
You think of Mexico, you don't think of
you don't, but it was beautiful.
Exactly.
It was in San Luis Potosí, and it was absolutely, what a gorgeous venue that was. Absolutely gorgeous venue. But it was they had a triple twister there, and they had various other rigs over water, and it was when I ran it was only a 1K loop. I ran it and I got pumped on just the 1K
just the K.
loop.
Yeah. We were talking about that a bit earlier, just before we came on air. Back in the day when we were designing this, I think it was really right back in the day.
Well, that was me and David in our kind of phase one, trying to work out how to go on. We had many a disagreement on how the format goes. We could talk about that a bit later.
We'll probably talk about, we'll probably get deep into that sort of esoterical stuff for you guys tomorrow. The super fans that want to hang with us through the beast tomorrow can talk. Of course, Steve, we have to remind everybody that we're jumping around here because, of course, heats are going off every 2 minutes. So we have to remember that, when we see VJ out there, that we're looking at separate heats.
Yeah, we've got 3 heats in the first thing, and as soon as we get the results, we kind of bring them to you, and we'll work out kind of who finishes first through. So it was Pavel Hardina, so it was Rylan Shadegg, Pavel Hardina, Ryan Atkins in there as well. Only 6 seconds behind, but probably saving himself a wee bit. You got Ostrom from Belarus with a very strong performance as well.
Yeah.
Jan Valader, Valader who came through. Strong as well. Sammy Costello had a great race. Manuel Defoe putting himself on the line a little bit. He's been incredibly strong in the North America Championships.
In 7th in the first heat.
Yep. And we'll see. I mean, they're just all coming through. Sergey, way down there, minute behind Rylan Shadegg. Very surprising. Will that still secure him that top race? You see on Leon Kofod there. And, we didn't see all of this, but maybe, maybe he failed a rig or something. It had to do a penalty loop.
That double sandbag's proven a bit of trouble for those that aren't that familiar.
Yeah, we've got Angel Quintero. We're going to see him in a minute finish and see what kind of what times he did. Awesome stuff.
These are great laser pistols. You can grab these and you can set them up in your house and you can do all sorts of training with them.
They are. So thank you very much. Jeremy from Eco Aims is here. This is the same that they use into the Olympics as well. They have a same weight as the
slightly different model pistol.
Yep.
But same deal.
See, coming across the rigs.
So Steve, should we get controversial already? Should we talk about gripping?
Yeah. Well, here we go to the. And he manages to complete it. That's fantastic. The other guy was onto the penalty loop. So you are allowed to grab the top. There was many reasons for this. One of the reasons it's very difficult to work out who kind of touched the top, because a lot of people don't want people grabbing the very top. So what we've done on this rig, we've actually moved the grips a little bit higher, so it's not as tempting to grab it straight away.
Right.
So you'll see some athletes make that extra move and make a bit of an effort. To be honest, it's quicker just to go through it.
Yeah.
It is tricky, it is difficult, and that extra move up, some of them won't be able to manage to grab up to the top, but you are allowed to do it. We just made it a little bit difficult, a little bit more tougher to do it.
It's just a different, quite a different view here that everybody's watching who may be more familiar with the 100-meter format, especially hello to all the national federations out there, and big thanks to World Obstacle. When we're watching that format of the sport, it's obviously so fast through the rigs. But what I love about this particular format, and there's a little off he goes onto the penalty loop. What I really love about this format, Steve, is that it just involves all the physical attributes you'd want to see in an elite athlete. You've got distance running at max. You've got really heavy carries requiring a lot of strength. And that obviously slows down the explosiveness on the rigs, but I think holistically I just love to see the athletic challenge that the 3K brings.
I love getting the muddy, the getting wet, the grittiness of it. It has every single element that we want to
Philippines.
create the Spartan.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. So I was going to say hi to the Philippines too. They've got a whole contingent here. Al Agra, of course, leading up the federation there, and hi to everybody in the Philippines, producing some brilliant OCR athletes there. It turned into this kind of talent factory out of the Philippines as the ladies prepare to go through their Q1. Yanka Popova on screen there, no stranger to this game, and we're gonna get kicked off in a few seconds.
So just gonna kind of run through the sort of the top males right now, as round one is just kind of finishing up, and we'll talk about that's a very strong heat for the women.
I was just going to say, give me give me a Esther Hordabagiova, and you got Yanka
Popova, and you got Ida there, Ida Stengard.
So basically, you've got some of the most
heat.
experienced athletes in OCR. Give me a quick. Put some money on this.
Well, this is like the European final right here. Absolutely brilliant athletes. You got Denmark, you got Slovakia being represented, Switzerland, Yanka Popova from Switzerland. Really, really strong heat. Now, some of these girls have come over from Europe to North America to do the North American Championships. Ida Steingard being one of them. She is actually one of my favorites because of the double sandbag carry, to give a challenge to the Alyssa Petrova and also Lindsay Webster.
I have to hit you on a ding there. We have to make sure, because everybody in Slovakia is probably going to send me hate mail. Janka's from Slovakia.
Janka is from Switzerland.
But
yep. Used to be from Slovenia. Originally, and then Esther, I believe, is from Slovakia. So here the women go off, and I'm just going to kind of give a bit of a recap on what actually happened with the males. Fastest time of the day, Ryland Shadegg. It's amazing that he just comes out there.
Machine.
Absolute machine. Pavel Hardina, second fastest time. Ryan Atkins, VJ Jones, all top contenders. To kind of take it home, really establishing their ground there. Ostrom, Tonka, brilliant athlete. He did very well in the European Championships.
Give us some times there too for all the folks. Just so
between Ryland Shadegg, Pavel Hardina was 3 seconds off. Ryan Atkins 6 seconds off. VJ Jones 11 seconds off. All the way down, Leon Kofod, I think 11th place. So some good names. Sergey
Paralesian.
He is a minute behind on a 1K course.
So just we should give some context to that. So Sergey won the World Championship here last year at this venue.
Yep.
And this guy is just a phenomenal athlete. So to see that sort of time differential is pretty surprising. We're going to have another female heat go off right now. A couple of contenders from the Philippines there as well.
Here we go.
Stevie,
got Lindsay Webster in this heat.
Yeah, it's just fantastic to see Lindsay. Stevie, talk about your last 9 days. Let's give the folks a bit of a. We started talking about such interesting things as the weather, and then we got cut off by the start of a race. But this is really hot, isn't it? When we talk about 80 degrees, 30 degrees, depending on where you come from in the world, it doesn't sound that hot, but there's something about it out there. It's just roasting.
So you know what? I've been out there for a while now.
You look like it.
I know. I'm a little bit tanned, but one thing which is really interesting. You think deserts, you think dryness, but we come in the morning and the gator is soaked.
Yeah.
All the course tape is soaked with dew.
Yeah.
It really is humid. It's these
people
guys
don't expect that, do they? Yeah,
no.
it's really And in the mornings, I've spent many years out here, and I've been in tents out in the desert before, where literally it's almost as if a huge rainstorm came in overnight when you wake up. Then by sort of 9 o'clock, it's bone dry.
Well, there's Esther. She's Esther and Ida, first and second, going through the dunk wall.
It's just such a civilized dunk wall out there in the desert, Steve.
I have to say, I actually had a little bit of a rinse off in it the other day, a little bit of a test.
Yeah.
And it's not cool. Let's just put it that way.
No, it's no ice bath.
It's more like a hot tub.
Correct.
So it's Ida and Esther going over the triple hurdles. Just wearing them out because they are redlining here, guys. Absolutely redlining, and it's just
Hurdles
such a horrible feeling.
All set the same height at 4
All
feet.
Yep.
Now, Stevie, what are your thoughts about finding that sweet spot in courses for like the 3K? Because it's so explosive. You know, I love getting into this technical stuff, by the way, guys, and I hope everybody watching enjoys it as well.
There's lots of decisions that we make. It's like, do we put a sandbag in? Do we put a crawl in?
Do you put different hurdle heights?
Do you put different hurdle heights? Lots of different things. What do we do with the rig? Do we put 5 rigs in? You know, so I think bring it back to nitty gritty. We can get more explosive out of the sport, especially the 3K sport progresses. Right now, we are still fitting it in as we see the ladies grabbing the double sandbag carries. Absolutely brutal.
Oh, actually, sorry, Steve, hold that thought for a sec, because I think you just make a really good point. And you know, most of the people I'm going to say watching right now are familiar with this sport. You know, maybe there's lots of newbies out there too, and welcome to the party. But you know, you're basically seeing the evolution of something that's quite new in sporting terms here. And of course, you know, we're also evolving in the way we cover this. You know, ideally right now you'd have an ability to have much more information on your screen right now in terms of splits and stuff, and that's why we're trying to give it to you verbally. But look, I guess the point I'm making is this sport is really exciting. The 3K format, that is, really exciting, and it's just really new. Yeah. And so there's just I guess what you're saying is, you know, there's so much sort of room for exploration, isn't there, in terms of like tweaking with the format. Anyway, sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. I just wanted to make that point.
And you know, we're still fitting it in with, you know, the Sprint Super and Beast. And, you know, right now we don't have the capacity to have a completely separate 3K course, which we see Esther and Ida finishing the double sandbag carry. Esther's going to be a force in the final. She's really giving Ida a run for her money, because I thought Ida would be a little bit better on the sandbag carry, as she's quite stronger, I think. But
I keep getting distracted. I just want to point out for everybody here as well, Steve, like you see that fossilized rock, I think they call it. Running on this stuff is fairly crunchy and firm, and you can see there's these kind of fossilized dunes.
It's actually interesting running just this course, is because every step is slightly different. You know, sometimes it's very hard packed, and then all of a sudden you're back in the soft sand again. So you're going to be
constantly. The instability is constantly
it's all activating the stabilizing muscles, and I'll talk a lot about that, just because my stabilizing muscles right now are absolutely burning from having a little run on the Beast course earlier. And we'll talk about the Beast later and tomorrow.
We're going to get into that tomorrow.
But here it's all about back-to-back obstacles, you know, how proficient that you can be on them, and especially in the final. You know, you got 30 obstacles. You know, just do this for a kind of a maths.
30 obstacles.
30 obstacles. If you're 2 seconds faster at each obstacle, you know, all of a sudden that is a huge amount of time. And you'll see Ida, who's very, very proficient at some of these obstacles, just making sure that she's, you know, going to complete it. But if you're 2 or 3 seconds quicker on 30 obstacles, that's a huge amount of time. Just getting a little bit quicker on that. Wow. Excellent. Esther and Ida, neck and neck. I think established themselves just to go straight through to the final. No problem whatsoever. This is going to be a matchup.
Awesome. Yeah, I was getting pretty excited here, and I just love the way that the Spartan athletes have really adapted to the laser pistol. You know, like they're looking pretty pro. You know, when they pick up the laser pistol, they're getting the heart rate down. They're really steady. This is a really new discipline for these athletes.
So really, really interesting. I think that we see who's that on the side there. It looks like it's like Yanka. Yanka had just completed it. Yanka Popova. Sandy from the Philippines.
Yeah, APAC Championship.
Yep.
Winner just a couple of weeks ago. came 10th in Abu Dhabi last year.
So let me ask you this, David. The 1-1-3, and we've had many a discussion late into the night about this. But the 1-1-3,
Yeah.
why 1-1-3? Not
We spun a wheel.
1-1-1.
Yeah.
You know,
Why
and
we do this?
there's a lot of people, especially athletes, who have stated why have there's no other sport that has a qualifying round that is different to a final, because. And as we will see on this,
I've had a few weird people call me out about that, by the way, and
Yeah.
some people have pointed out some pretty esoteric sports that kind of do. But
Really?
Yeah, throw it in the comments on YouTube if you if you can think of.
Fantastic.
Yeah, look. Yeah, sorry, go on.
No,
Yeah.
no. So I
No,
was
why'd
asking
yeah,
you,
yeah, why do we do
because
it?
I know, me and you know a lot of the answers to this because I have asked you this specific question.
Yeah.
And
we've sort
I've
of
seen
talked about it for years.
Clara's from I think she's from Czech Republic. Brilliant athlete's done really well in sort of the European series as she's finishing this.
What I love about this particular, so we'll get back to our own topics in a minute, but like what I love about this, Steve, is kind of like the athlete has to make the choice here, between speed and getting that qualifying time that may or may not be enough compared to the other groups.
Exactly.
And risking such a horrific situation where
Yeah.
if you come off that rig, it's basically over.
And see, Lindsay, she's looking that tired. I think she's just easily solidified herself. Now, this is, again, tactics. With the women, you can kind of look around you and you can see, right, am I top 7? Am I top 7? Yeah, I'm going to just ease right off it.
You're a four-time world champion. I mean, like in any circle, if you talk about Lindsay Webster, I think anybody would agree that in any athletic circle, she's a very, very, very respectable athlete.
Oh,
Just
unbelievable
incredible.
athlete. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they're really fighting to be in the final now. These women really, really going for it to get that final spot. But
yeah, so I was going to say, like,
here we go.
This
is great to circle back to this because the 1K is an absolute different beast to the 3K. The 3K is an endurance event. The 1K is a little bit
we're talking
dynamic.
About, we're talking about one's a long distance event and one's not. But look, physiologically, why don't we take it back to the beginning, like where we started? We kind of the very first event that we had for this.
Petrova just finishing as well.
Yeah, Steve will keep adding colour while I reminisce. Right, but the very first time we did this was at Spartan Games 1 during the pandemic. We called it a Spartan Cross.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, I think it was 5K. Had this crazy spur off into the forest. And it was it was the beginnings of this sport. We decided that number one, having qualifying rounds is really exciting as a concept in itself.
Yep.
Agreed. Do you want to give some times, by the way?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Alyssa Petrova, basically.
We're just having some getting some numbers through now, just kind of like who's going to be kind of in the heats. There'll still be some more ladies coming in.
Stevie, just so in case people want to follow along on the link here, they can just go to. Can they go to Racesol or no? Can they grab these?
I
times
believe they
now?
can go to race results. I'm not sure if it's a private link.
Okay,
it may well be a private link.
We'll figure it out.
See.
If someone out there wants to try, you can probably grab this data yourself. But go ahead.
The
Steve.
My Race results.
Yeah.
So Alyssa Petrova, quite a dominating performance. Is it too fast, too soon? We will absolutely see that. Esther Hortabagiova with a 25-second difference, with Ida and Lindsay not far behind with a 30-31, respectively. Klara Lokojakova from the Czech Republic, who we just saw finishing the rig, and Janka Popova, 55 seconds behind. So we've got to remember, there's only, is it 7 or is it 8 that go through?
So we're going to have 8 in the final for the women. By the way, if everyone's watching, if you think we forget about the topics we need to bring up, especially as a sports fan, I would always listen to commentators like, when are they going to get back and talk about that interesting thing? Are they going to forget? We haven't forgotten. We'll just get to bits and pieces probably over the weekend of this sport. We just love this format, so there's so much to talk about it, right?
There's going to be 6 hours of us chatting.
If you can hang in there with us, you get a season pass.
Basically, we went to the pub last night and we chatted for about 6 hours as well.
The pub in the desert. It's just around the corner behind the sand dunes.
It was great.
It's the pub out the back of the
Mate, you
four-wheel
got
drive.
an Aussie and a Brit. Start of a joke,
absolutely,
isn't it?
right, yeah. Aussie in a brick walk into a desert. You know what's really interesting? Like if you watch traditional athletics, like if you were watching over 1,000 meters, right, and you saw differentials like in finish times of like 25 seconds, 31 seconds, you'd be like, oh, they got absolutely smashed. Yeah. But like just to be clear, like once you throw obstacles into the mix and sand and all sorts of other things, that 25 seconds actually becomes a lot less daunting in terms of that differential.
Well, talk about that differential. 25 seconds, couple of seconds on each obstacle. One second on each obstacle. Just that little bit faster, and that's the difference between Alyssa and Esther.
First and second.
So
yeah.
Obstacle proficiency is almost the number one thing. Obviously, yes, leg speed and endurance and all that kind of stuff. But if you hesitate or fail an obstacle or just,
That's what I really love about this format, in that I think... What?
No.
Do you reckon I like the format?
And you love the format.
I love the format.
Because risk versus
reward.
So
Correct.
the risk pays dividend. We're like dancing all around the studio here because we kind of get quite excited by this.
We do,
this 3K stuff.
And what it does, I think that what it does for obstacle course racing, it really highlights the capital O. I'm not saying that the obstacles aren't important in the beast, but I'm just saying that like it just becomes so crucial that a mistake on an obstacle here, or even a couple of seconds of time, like you've just been pointing out, it's basically you're done.
And we've got a tricky rig in here, and we've seen quite a few failures, which obviously make a big difference. Not sure quite what happened to Sergey on that first round. I'd love to get an interview in a bit to
with
see
the plus 1 minute.
With the plus 1 minute, maybe that was a penalty loop. Who knows? Maybe he was just chilling about and just saying, no, I got this. But you got to remember, I don't think Sergey has done this.
I hope he wasn't chilling about.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
maybe he's coming with a really good tactic, and he's.
Well, that's the thing. What's the thing? We've seen a few editions of this, but really not enough to tell. So, as we come into the broadcast, we couldn't even tell you what a good time would be on this particular course, because like last year here at Abu Dhabi was the team relay. We could ballpark it, right? But the times we're seeing here and, the splits we're seeing here, like it's all a learning experience, right? So you're coming along the ride with us, and if we're seeing that Sergey's, a plus a minute off the lead, we'll soon find out with you guys whether that's going to kill him or whether it's not. There's Spartan CEO Joe DeSena on the right of the screen.
So right now your top. So obviously not official results, just pending. Making sure that the judges out there and the officials have kind of clarified this. We'll be going on to round 2 very shortly. But right now, Alyssa, Esther, Ida, Lindsay, Clara, Yanka, Angelique, and Sandy
Make up the 10.
Makes up the
8.
the top 8. So
the 8.
that's right now pending anything, and the difference. It's interesting. The difference between first and 8th in that is just over a minute, minute and 17 seconds.
So there's your final women, and for the men, we're going to have to see the next 25. Stevie was bringing it up.
I'm not very handy with the old phone. It's like technology.
Look at this. By the way, the culture here is just phenomenal. Like, this is really cool. Yeah, can you go put some audio on? Let's give the folks at home a little taste of this. We'll shut up for a minute. They're trying to anyway. I'm not sure whether or what I'm... to see such a passionate culture. Okay. Take it. You are watching the Spartan World Championship live from Abu Dhabi, hosted by the Abu Dhabi Sports Council. Dave Watson, Steve Hammond in the commentary position here, getting a little bit of the local culture flavour, and it sort of goes right on through the evening here as Ryan Atkins is rushing to get to qualifying round 2.
That is it. They've Ryan actually he told me he bought a bag of ice, and he's like shoving his pockets full of ice. Just
Great idea.
Which is great.
The performance difference. Oh man, there's so many topics we could talk. How do we even stick to one topic? The performance difference, though, if you're able to manage the heat out there, you are really going to see a performance improvement. It's all about heat management. You can see a lot of the athletes are going into, let's call it the pits, into that area undercover, grabbing some stuff, grabbing some ice, using vests. I see Lindsay Webster had an ice vest on earlier.
Yeah,
Steve,
I gave her a hug. It was just freezing cold.
Yeah, and
in the desert,
exactly,
cooling herself down because you perform better when you're cooler.
Yeah, once you kind of hit that point where you're overheated, obviously you're going to be so much slower in running, and the muscle contractions are impacted, and which means your obstacle completion. Yeah, heat mitigation is what it's all about out there. And it's currently 3 p.m. local time, and the sort of desert doesn't really cool down until the sunset time, which is around this time of year, around about 5:30. So the athletes are really racing in a fair bit of radiant heat out there, and managing it's everything. Steve, do you want to quickly talk through just the standings at this current time? Why don't we? So we know. Let's just confirm first of all the top. Well, you've got the men up, so let's do the men for round 2, the 25 that are going into round 2.
Yeah, and so there's a few names that I'm going to absolute butcher here, which
forgive us around the world for our trespasses when it comes to pronunciation. First names are really good. Let's do the Ethiopian distance runner thing. We'll use first names.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now we've done through round 1. We're gonna. I think we haven't quite put them into the round 2 just yet, but it's the first. I believe it's the first 25 that will go into round 2. So
correct.
I believe that's the next race that we're gonna see.
Yep.
Is round 2. Now round 2 will have 2 heats. Each with I believe it's 12. One will have 12 in it, and one will have 13 in it. So the standings, as I currently said earlier, was Rylan, Pavel, Ryan Atkins, Vijay Jones, Ostrom, Jan Valda, Samuel Castell. What a great performance from him as Portuguese athletes. Manuel Defoe, Petra Vigny, Acunio, Leon Kofod, Kian Savini, who was actually the Italian race, who actually he qualified through because he actually won the FISO event, which was very obstacle. That was the one, very obstacle. What's the
heavy?
word? Very obstacle heavy.
Yeah,
I've been in the desert too long, mate.
No, it's okay. And in Belgium, you're talking about recently.
He won that in Belgium. So I kind of thought I'd see a slightly stronger showing here, but again, they will talk about the experience of people who have not done a Spartan 3K and those who have. Those who have are certainly higher up the list because they're a little bit more proficient in, you can lose a couple of seconds on how to handle double sandbag carry, or, simple stuff like, flipping over A-frame.
Yeah, which really, as it hasn't mattered to that point before. Even in a 5K, you can afford to sort of set yourself a little bit longer. They're away, by the way, Stevie here, so we're often racing. Okay, this quite potentially could actually be the second heat. Our producer is telling us we may not have caught that first heat, first heat of the men for the qualifying round 2.
Excellent. So here we go.
So Shadeg's there.
There we go. So we've already had some elimination out there. We've got the Ryan Atkins in this heat. We've got Rylan Shadeg. Few other athletes I don't recognise in this.
And just to our producers there, just button off for me in my ear, thanks.
And here we go. There's
good good old over-under. Oh, no, sorry, hurdles.
Hurdles. Over. We'll watch it all change as Ryan Atkins just finishes that, and also Rylan Shadegg. Who else is in that heat? We'll find out in a minute.
We're just doing a lot of phone scrolling here while you bear with us. Got a lot of spectators lining out there on the course, and then this is the second group you're watching now coming under the fence.
We'll get some good timing once they cross the lap.
VJ Jones from the United States, closest to. VJ's been out here surveying the course over the last couple of days.
I think that's Eugenio as well from Mexico. Very, very strong Mexican athlete.
I just
neck and neck with VJ Jones right now.
Yeah, just back onto the deck. I just love the way that the sport in general in obstacle is progressing in Mexico, Stephen. You were lucky enough to be over there this year, and
that was so magnificent. It really was. That, I mean, as mentioned earlier on the kind of football pitch, but they, like here in Abu Dhabi, they welcomed us so much, and it's something I actually really learned from doing a lot of traveling, especially with Spartan, and it's just the the welcomeness of some of these foreign countries that have really invited us in. They laid out the red carpet for all the athletes and everyone involved.
I mean, Mexico knows how to put on a show,
God,
hey?
That was amazing.
If those of you that got to see the Pan American Championships at the military college venue there for Mexico, it was so exciting. Fireworks, you name it. So if you're watching and you're one of the Spartans around the world that love taking part, whether you're an age grouper, open, or indeed if you're an elite, get down to Mexico and take part next year in the 2024 season, because I can tell you that place is going off.
Yeah, for sure. I believe that's one of the Czech athletes that have just gone through there. So here we've got VJ Jones. I believe that is Gian Savini in second, and that is Junio. I think it's
also an Italian.
No, he's the Mexican athlete who came second in what's his surname? Ganez.
Or Godinez?
Yeah, Godinez. Yeah. So he was in. That's all right. I'm trying to kind of figure out who's who in here, but I believe that was there was Ryland and Ryan heading up and over the slip wall, but that's a very strong performance here. This is a very, very
I love just how consistent Ryland Shadegg is. Every time he just does the exact same thing. I think he's taking the exact same lane too as before. You could check me if I'm wrong on that.
Got the sand on his hands.
Got the sand on the
sweat.
Takes the exact same way through the multi-rig. He's just trying to find that consistency in performance, and obviously everybody has a little bit of a different approach to that. But he's just got his kind of dialed-in technique for this.
That's one of the Filipino athletes, I believe. As we see him come through, look at that technique, great.
Yeah, Mervin Guate from the Philippines.
Oh, Mervin, fantastic.
Yeah, won the Montclair actually 3K in the Philippines in their 3K series just 3 weeks ago. So he's kind of really in the midst of his season at the moment. We're back out on course following, I think they've got...
So just to give an update on that kind of round two there on the heat one, Ryan Atkins led that kind of heat. Petra Vigny just 20 seconds behind. Rylan Shadegg, did he fall off because his timing doesn't come through? So whether there's a timing thing, because we did not see him at the finishing line. Did he...
On the multi-rig?
Yeah, because we didn't see him finish. He was looking very, very strong.
Right.
But his timing chip has not updated, and I'm very worried that he may have...
By the way, folks, that's just
on the penalty loop.
That's just a really fast way to get up a dry slip wall. Just run up
straight up. Yeah, that was Sergey.
Yeah, just run it.
There's some strong people coming through here.
Great shots too here. Look at this. We've got the drone really low, so I love watching this from this angle.
Yep. All right, so people are finishing through. I believe Rylan Shadeg did finish. His time and chip just didn't register, I believe.
That was
so
VJ also nailing the laser pistol there.
Pistol shoot super quick. Again, a couple of seconds. If you're really quick on it and hit all three, you can literally do it in 2 seconds. All right. So what are we looking for here? Top 13. So who is the top 13 heading on to this? So VJ Jones has the fastest time, followed by Gian Savini. Whoa. And then Junio. God, that was a fast heat. They were faster than a lot of the other guys. Pavel Hardina, Ryan Atkins, Peter Vickney. Wow. So who is slightly out of this? Let's have a look. So 1, 2.
This is called doing it the old school way, guys.
Yes, I'm counting while I'm on this.
You count and scroll over your phone.
I know.
It's all right.
Leon Crawford is slightly behind right now, but we can see if hopefully this will all get updated. We'll
try and get you the final list, but we're basically getting live timing as the athletes cross the mats. Off we go onto a trudge into the desert for the penalty loop. Steve, talk about the penalty loops. Give people an idea of what the penalty loop involves.
Yeah, absolutely. Marked in red just on the side of the obstacle. If you fail these one attempt obstacles, so the one attempt obviously is it's considered when your feet leave the platform. So as soon as your feet leave the platform, that's it. That's considered an attempt. You can't kind of go back. That's considered an attempt. Now the penalty loop consists of just over 200 meters of running, sometimes with a carry. Kind of the obstacle. The penalty loop kind of matches the punishment, of the obstacle. So obviously, if it's a slightly longer rig, slightly longer obstacle, slightly longer penalty loop,
by what sort of
punished?
What sort of difference would you usually like to go for?
So
tell people.
I like to do it in kind of time. So if you're proficient good at the obstacle, then imagine it takes 3 or 4 times. So that's what you're going to lose to do the penalty loop. So obviously, if it's an obstacle that takes 3 seconds, then the penalty loop is going to be a lot shorter than an obstacle that takes 20 seconds to do.
Something like multi-rig, for example, you'll send folks off usually in a couple of 100 meters.
A couple of 100 meters that should take, so say if it takes 10 seconds to do the obstacle.
Sorry to interrupt you. Major issues. The power went down. Athletes couldn't hear us. So 5 athletes did not start. And so their time will be funky. I sent them off, so we'll at least have some sort of time with them. But we need some sort of solution.
All right, I'm going to jump out the studio and I'm going to come and help you sort this out, and I'll let David kind of keep talking a little bit. But we can pause for a second and maybe we can
Okay. we should actually explain what just happened then, why we disappeared.
It's called wearing many hats.
We just actually, okay, so, I mean, why not talk about this? We just went off air. I mean, we didn't go off air, you were still watching, but we put our mics down just then because we had a little power outage in the timing tent. And we had
in the timing and in festival as well.
Festival.
So a few people missed the heat that they were supposed to go in. And technically by the rules, if they miss their heat, they are DQ'd. However, because it was on us and there wasn't proper communication to get the athletes on board, and because it's on chip time, they were allowed to all go on a heat on their own. And I think that's the heat that we're seeing right now. If that's a confusion to a few of you sort of watching, going, hold on a minute, we just watched 2 heats go through. Who's going to make it to the final? So that is what is happening. Few people didn't get a chance to race, and it was on us. So they're in their kind of 3rd heat on their own, as it were. And
the desert does all sorts of cool things going on.
There we go.
Yeah,
So,
all sorts of wild stuff. And producer friends, just button off in my ear, please. Producer friends, just button off in my ear. We have double sandbag action underway.
fantastic. So I saw Nicola Dam, I saw Leon Crawford, obviously some of the guys sort of chatting around and missing their heat, but they as the power was down, we could not go over the loudspeaker for obvious reasons, but I believe the timing is all good, and we will be right back on track once these guys are finished, and we will get you the leaderboard as soon as we can.
This is kind of like, okay, so, you know, I think we just...
We are in the middle of the desert.
This is kind of part of it, and I know that everybody watching is kind of along in the journey with us, and, you know, we're kind of like witnessing a bit of history here. We're flying by the seat of our pants sometimes, but I think that... the progress of this sport has just been incredible, and the athleticism. I mean, we just have to give it to the athletes. I mean, these men and women are training just so hard for this sport. You know, which it was pretty brutal at times. There are other comparably when you talk about other sports. This is pretty relentless. The word of the weekend.
Relentless. Okay, if anyone saw the pre-show or the pre-video, I got my words mixed up.
No, we're going with relentless for the
or
weekend.
unrelentless.
Unrelentless. Pretty unrelentless. But
and there's Leon trying to get that seconds count in this seconds count, because he has no idea what happened before him. Mm-hmm. He doesn't know what time they actually got. They have no idea on time. So every second counts, and he knows this because only half of these guys go through. So he has to absolutely gun this. We know he's an obstacle specialist. He's going to leap from here, and he's going to, try as hard as he can to get those, couple of seconds.
He's got a boogie here. He's really going for it.
Here he goes. He likes his swing, and is he going to grab the top, or is he going to grab the? Yeah, he's just going to straight through. Look at that.
Just
strength.
as you said, straight through is
quicker, and he's there. He's got to do this pistol shoot, and away he goes. And he's already got that 4-5 seconds.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And he's going to get that green light, and he's done. Look at that. And he's going to sprint up, and did that secure him into the final? We're going to see in a minute when it uploads.
Yeah, that's kind of at least 12-13 seconds there.
So we're gonna say, the other races just went off. This is the other kind of heat. So they
okay, so yeah, just in case you went and got a cold beverage while we went off air there.
This is not the final. This is not the final. The three guys just went off.
Yeah, three athletes that just went off due to some power issues.
Issues, communication issues, trying to get the athletes to the start line, and we will bring that through. So that's. Do
you want to give us some updates on the splits there?
Some of the splits, I think most of them, as we said, VJ Jones was one of the fastest. Gian Savini had a really fast lap on that one. I'd love to see the actual times compared to
Round one. Me too.
And maybe we can kind of see that. His Q1. Okay, so here we go.
So you got
VJ Jones. His Q1 time was 6:46, and his Q2 time was 6:42. So VJ Jones currently has one of the fastest times of the whole show. And then let's look at
pull up Atkins for example.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, because right now I'll pull up Ryan Shadegg.
Pull up Shadegg, yeah.
So his Q1 time was 6:4. For round one was 6:34. Right now he's got a qualifying 2 position of 16. But his time has not come up quite yet. Oh yeah, Q2 time, there it is, 8:01. So maybe he did fail because he was right up there. It
doesn't make sense for it not to be. So that's quite interesting for Ryan Shadegg. I mean, at the moment
we missed that on the camera.
We did, and if he's in 16, he ain't going to be competing in the final.
Well, that's currently what's happening right now. But let's have a look. Ryan Atkins times. He did a 6:40. He did a 6:41 in Q1 and a 6:46 in Q2, and he's currently in a position 6.
Mr. Consistent.
So, did we see an utter shock
with Ryan Shadegg?
With Ryan Shadegg just then,
yeah.
With the fastest, one of the fastest times of the day, and then maybe having a slight mistake on the rig, but we will find that out we'll soon see.
One of the two warriors for the US contingent to try and get on that podium. Hey, Stevie. For
sure. For USA, I mean, we have such a great European contingents here that we're going to see a strong showing in the final by them. Some great athletes, coming through, and it's great to see. Right now we've got an American, we've got an Italian, and we've got a Mexican in those top 3 positions right now. So a wide range.
Spartan World Championship on show. And what I really like about this particular venue, if you guys want me to do a little throwback, Stevie, remember 2 years ago, completely different venue. We're in Liwa. Where you kind of you're mainly in really, really steep sand dunes that kind of, I'm going to speak metric for a minute, but we kind of average kind of 300 meters in that area, maybe a bit bigger. And it was just like sugar. Yep. And, different race, beast, held out there, kind of really got deep, and then you kind of got onto the salt flats. Whereas here, and especially with the 3K course, tomorrow, everybody watching is going to see some real dune action because young Mr. Hammond right here has set us right into the dune. Sergey in the
black shorts,
yeah.
Not the white hat.
Not the white hat. Yeah, that's right. Sergey in the shoes. Yeah. No one actually, let's talk about that. No one's opted. No one, at least in the elite contingent, has ever opted to race barefoot yet in the desert.
God,
Can you imagine?
Okay, so last year I forgot really good gaiters when I was setting course. I decided that it was a good idea, so I wouldn't get sand in my shoes. I would just go bare feet. After 13 miles of, 10 hours of marking course in this soft sand, I think I ruined my calves because because you're just not used to it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even if you walk around in barefoot at home, it's just a different level because it's so the ground is so uneven.
Well, it takes people about a year to kind of get used to it, and it's apparently very, very good for you. I just don't want to spend a year getting used to it, I think.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, I know. I mean, like for the 3K, would you do it barefoot? No. I mean, I'm bringing it up more as a kind of a silly point. Although, if you were extremely accustomed to running bare feet, I don't know whether it'd be beneficial here or not. I don't think so.
The lightest shoes on the planet.
It really is, yeah. In other formats, especially in the really deep sand, we'll see tomorrow some interesting choices.
We'll see who the Zola Bud of the
right,
the Zola Bud of the OCR world.
The OCR world, yeah. Sergey Paraligan
shows my age a little bit, I think.
No, that's fine. It's we're honest here. Did you discuss with him what's going on with the lower back there?
I think it's a double cross tattoo with
Right.
No, people have lots of KT tape all over the place, or that different sorts of tape. But there's a great little battle going on for seconds here.
I do. Okay, so I guess just to revisit that, there's no serious injury going on with him.
No, I think not that I know of. I mean, it looks like just a little bit of support on the lower back.
Yeah. All right, so we're on the multi.
Oh, there he goes. He's just caught right back up there. Couple of seconds here and there. Look at that. Great technique. And all of a sudden he's through. Wow.
Really, really lovely technique. That's really quick for this format, at least.
So I think that's Sergey on the right, and I'm not sure who that is on the left right now, but give him a good run for money.
Oh!
But wow, what a quick free shot that is. Oh, absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely nailed it. Sergey did pretty well to catch up.
Yep.
All right, we'll get you some times in just a second. Now, just to recap, we have 8 women in the final, which we'll see. And
we'll go off in a minute, and that's the 3 laps.
So
brutal.
I
we're going to jump around a bit.
We're like 2 ping pong balls here, but we aren't going to forget our discussion about 1K into 3K qualifying.
What the why?
Yeah, the why.
Because now you'll see, and the viewers will see, the brutalness of what the 3K course, and it turns into a endurance event.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So first of all, when we designed this, it's just basically if you had 3K rounds. There's a lot of people out there who be like, just assume we wouldn't do that, but others might. So let's just bring that up. 3K rounds at this speed, physiologically speaking, is just so demanding. You're just so wrecked that one, I think that the speed of the sport would suffer. 2, I think athletically, it's just the ask of the athletes. I just don't think you can get peak performance from such a demand, right? So if you're wondering, the first part of our series on the whys of 3K tells you why not 3K rounds. Some of you may disagree with that. That's fine. Although we have had some pretty awesome feedback, especially from athletes who, at the other end of the sport, maybe the sort of ultra endurance, like Ryan Atkins, for example. I remember we had a big discussion about just how taxing the short course format is, and this guy can go all day in the mountains. You put him out there and get him to run around again and again and again, especially in the early days when we did Spartan Cross. This is the latest. Let's just pause the chapter on 3K.
Well, this
evolution.
is the final.
This is the final for the women. You can see our staff there, young Gary Ballinger on the left there, telling the ladies exactly what they need to do, because when they come through, they need to make sure they go back out and
so
not.
It looks like Angelique. We've got Alyssa Petrova.
Angelique Chatagneau's no.
There we go.
Yeah, you like my pronunciation.
Look at that, she's all French.
She is.
Lindsay, Ida, Yanka, Clara. And Sandy, here we go.
This is it, isn't it? Great to be running along with them, with Esther Hortbag-Yova right in front of us. Give us approximate pace there in miles. I can't convert miles. Yeah,
it'll probably be going off around the sort of 6-minute mile, pack. But as you can see, Esther's just kind of cruising there. They know what they're in for, because they just did 1 lap and probably felt not very good by the end of it, and all of a sudden they got to do it 3 times. So again, you're going to see this kind of pack together, and obviously Lindsay's out front, but she's determined the pace. So it's very interesting when you're out front. You can kind of, all right, I'm gonna just hang back a little bit and see. I'm going to take control of this course. Yes, it's very early on. But she is taking control of it, and you can see people. I think that's Angelique just taking her time, and we'll see how it unfolds, because it's a long race. Relatively
speaking, yeah.
In time, not in distance.
In time, not in distance. Yeah, and we're talking about Lindsay Webster and her ability to sort of sit in the lead there and just dictate the pace. She's just so used to those situations, especially doing that for a very, very long time.
Yes.
I think that she's just completely comfortable at the moment taking that role. I think that as this sport continues to evolve, I should say in the 3K format at least, we'll see the strategy evolve, of course. And as we move more into athletes competing in national teams against each other, then you probably will see the evolution where much more like traditional distance running. You'll see pace setters, and then you'll see people rabbiting each other and so on.
So as we see on the first lap, we're going to bring you a little update, and the battle commences with Alyssa, Esther. These definitely are my top three. Lindsay, Alyssa, and Esther, who are all going to absolutely battle for this, and it'd be a really interesting how they dictate the pace. But
you know what I love about Esther? Like, she just has this kind of like skate park look when she's competing. It's like she's got the baggy singlet, and she's absolutely ripping it up out there.
So apparently, I did an interview with her in Greece, and she doesn't speak a word of English. And I asked her to kind of like half translate what she said. Apparently, every single word bar 2 were swear words. I was like, that's my kind of girl. That was awesome.
Yeah, was she swearing at you, or was she swearing at
I don't know.
Did it matter?
Probably about the course. Probably at me. Most people do. So just to kind of, as we're watching the women go through dunk wall, as a kind of a pack is forming, what a battle for the podium this is going to be. But let's just drop back to the men quickly with who has qualified and who has not. Right now, there's a couple of shocks. I think Ryland Shadegg looks out of it. Nikolai Dam looks like he did not qualify. David Lebois is right on that class. We'll see in a minute. Godinez, I don't think has qualified, which is a bit of a shock as well.
Ouch.
So what we have Vijay Jones, Gian Savini, Pavel Hardina, Leon Kofod, Manuel Defoe, Jan Valader, Ryan Atkins, Peter Vickney, and this is the order that they qualified in. Ashram Toka, and Sergey bringing up the top 10. So obviously, I think there's 13 that go through. So Fabian, French athlete, and then Angel Quintero, and then Samuel Castella.
Fabian's Italian, actually.
Oh, Italian, all right.
Yeah.
Close.
But
that does knock out David Lebois instead of Samuel Costello. What a great battle that must have been. So there are your top 13 unofficial right now that have made it through. So a couple of shocks. Have to see what happened to Ryland Shadegg, because he was right there. He was right there next to Atkins. So I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I mean, it's got to be the multi-rig situation if I was going to put a bet on it.
There you go.
Look at this. It's heating up.
Double
Literally.
sandbag, neck and neck. Wow.
Yeah, you got Webster, Baggiova, and Petrova. No strangers to the desert. And Alyssa Petrova, we should talk about sort of her life and training. Stevie, do you want to sort of give a little bit of background on where she lives and trains? Yeah,
I mean, she Alyssa Petrova, originally from Russia, and now lives in the UAE. So lo and behold, she is a local, and she trains in the sand dunes, and she is very used to this kind of terrain. Thoroughly. And she, she's I'm very good friends with her. She's like, I won it this year. And she's to win this kind of 3K event, you got to have that extra little bit of oomph. And right now, they're going to be finishing up lap 1. This is an amazing race. These four young ladies got Alyssa right there in the red shorts. In the white top of the kind of skater girl look that you were talking about is Esther, and then you've got Lindsay Webster in the black shorts and black top, and then in the red representing Denmark you got Ida, as well. And all of them, look at that, neck and neck as they're coming out on finishing this first lap.
This is so good.
Of the 3K.
Like, honestly, like if you haven't watched this before, like I think this is just really, really an example of how this format
look at this.
It's good to watch, right?
Oh my goodness.
And the good thing is that we get to have another couple of laps of this.
Oh, well, we do. And who took it out hard? Who's hanging with this group that shouldn't be? That will all unfold.
Are you suggesting any of them shouldn't be at this stage?
No,
I don't think so, right?
No, not at all. But what I could be suggesting is somebody hanging back.
Yeah.
And not going all out is Alyssa or Lindsay. Is one of these girls going, I'm just going to take my time because I'm going to get them on lap 3.
100%. Now,
I don't know.
Yeah,
Again,
exactly.
Tactics going into this. Again, a 2-second or 20-second on this. Who's got the shot?
Just remember, your heart is absolutely...
Alyssa.
Yeah, heart is
Esther.
absolutely pounding and racing. It's really... It's tougher
Ida.
than you think to keep that thing steady. Yep, Ida in third. Webster's going to be in fourth right now.
All right.
So in terms of the physiological demands we're talking about, those of you that have done Spartan events, and most of you probably have, will know that it is pretty taxing having to smash through 10 obstacles at this rate over and over again, right, Steve?
It is. Look at that. So...
We solved the situation, so we did not boot anybody, and we manually calculated other times. There was 2 additional racers that popped in, so your link live is correct with 14 racers in the final.
Can you tell us what happened to Rylan Shadegg?
Yeah, so we just want to hear. So you stay with us here. We just got some voices in our ears, just figuring out what's happened out there. Yes, Gary Ballinger or anyone in there, just let us know what happened to Rylan. We would love to tell everybody at home who's watching because we didn't get to see on screen. So, getting a little bit ahead, Esther, right now.
So there's a difference, a couple of seconds make on the obstacles, and we're back into running. So are we going to see them come back into a pack again, or we're going to see somebody kind of break? It's like cycling, isn't it? It's like, all right, I'm going to go for a break.
It really is. It really is.
And the breaks happen on the obstacles. It's like, if you're going to have that break, what are you going to do? You're going to, I see the pace now a lot more than on the first lap. So Lindsay's hanging right in there. She's just, actually she's gaining on them. Esther's pushing the pace, and then we have Alyssa Petrova in the red shorts, coming down the hill to under the fence, and Ida's hanging on in there in 4th place. She wants that podium and big money. So what's the breakdown?
Don't have it in front of me. I'll get
20,
it right now.
I think it's like a 2015-10 or something.
I think it's something like that. We should probably get that
big,
right before
it's big money.
No, it is. I'll grab it off the website right now. But yeah. We'll be handing out the checks in a minute. I did. I did write it. The finance team's sweating right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
150,000. I wish.
It's yeah, right. No, I mean, but
I would love to pay. I would love to pay athletes that amount.
Saudi Arabia or anyone?
Exactly. We could talk about that.
We'll talk about that tomorrow. By the way, if you're considering not tuning in tomorrow and you're a fan of OCR, I reckon you should probably. I reckon we'll get into all sorts of stuff tomorrow. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
DM me some topics.
Yeah. Actually, do that at
ridiculous or not ridiculous.
At Trailmaster Hammond. Correct.
Sure.
Did I just blow you up? His home phone number is... you can get at Trailmaster. DM him. DM Stevie some topics.
All right, here we go back in. All right.
Petrova. Little change in the lead after that obstacle.
Lap 2.
Dunk wall time. Do you ever miss the old wood dunk wall, Stevie? Maybe not from a production perspective.
God,
remember?
It was a bit more to build.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the inflatable dunk wall.
Obviously. I remember in Lake Tahoe race at the I think it was the 18. You were there, 18 or 19 World Championships. Yeah. Dunk wall froze, and we had to wait a couple of days, and then it froze even more, and so it took a lot of effort, put it this way, a couple of days after the race to extract the dunk wall out
of the frozen
with all these massive blocks of ice around it.
Yeah, that was 19 when we had a massive snowstorm. If you were there in Tahoe, post a picture and tag us at Spartan.
Most people got hypothermia.
Jeez, was that an epic race? Yeah, that was the controversy. I'm probably bringing back some.
Should we have closed the?
That's the thing.
swim?
I was going to say I'll just open up a can of worms. Bring back a few
yeah.
laughs and bring back a few painful memories. That swim, it was nuts. I remember actually. Down the hill, a few of the athletes from Slovakia ran past me, and everyone else had said how it was just so brutal and this is so tough. And the Slovakians ran past me and they said, "We love it." I'm like,
well, that's the thing. But hey, as we see a little bit of a gap forming with Alyssa Petrova, but Lindsay Webster has just taken Esther. Wow. Hortibegayova is really hanging in there. She's on Lindsay Webster's heels. And we can see Ida Steiger, who's actually one of the best at the double sandbag carries here. She's a couple of seconds behind. Let's just get a little bit of a number on that. I believe that is 9 seconds behind right now. Can she make up a little bit of ground? But we know, a second per obstacle. If you're just that little bit further up, she can easily get that.
Jeez, Petrova looks fit.
Now, has Lindsay been hanging back a bit, and is she going to make a move in a minute? Because we're very shortly going to be on our last lap, and then it is all to play for. We're going to have a cracking finish here, guys.
Yeah, it's
wow,
definitely going to be explosive as they drop the double sandbag and make their way back around towards the festival. The other great thing about this format is it's great for spectators. You can lie on the course, a little bit rally, kind of world rally style, isn't it? Where
it's brilliant. Usually what happens is spectators, come in, they see you at the start, and all of a sudden you're kind of off. 3 hours later, you've trekked through the desert, and then you're back in. Here, this kind of format really brings everyone in. Yep. They can see them. They're just about to see them through this and then back around for their third and final lap.
It's the beauty of the loop format too, and trying to bring this fantastic sport of obstacle course racing into a more spectator-friendly format, and the looped format just gives that ability for the people on the ground at the venue to watch it. It makes it a lot easier too for us to cover. You can see this great coverage we're having right now. We've got drones and people stationed at the obstacles. Really, really nice. It's really great to watch.
God, so Esther just took up a bit of time now. I've never seen anyone go up that fast. Did you just see Esther go up that?
It's cooking.
A-frame, absolutely brilliant. So here we go. Who's got a slightly quicker multi-rig?
This is great.
They are neck and neck. Seconds will count on this, and also the pistol shoot. What a 1, 2, and 3 right there.
Great job by both of those.
Esther Hortibegayova is just finishing, and Ida is still hanging in there. She is just only 1 obstacle length behind. That can all change on the laser pistol shoot. So as we see that, obviously, Alyssa and Lindsay both smashed their laser pistol, and they're back around for the final lap. Here we go, people.
Third and final lap for the Women's 3K World Championship here at Al Wathba Resort, presented by Abu Dhabi Sports Council.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's got it?
I'm really on the spot.
I know.
Alyssa.
So there's a couple of reasons why I think that Lindsay is gonna make a bit of bolt for it.
I love the way you did that. Go on.
Do you like that?
I like that. Yeah.
The fact is that she this whole time she's been at exactly the same pace. Means that she's in
super
control.
Steady. Yeah.
And here is a pass. And as she's is this it? Is this the moment she's been waiting for? I'm not sure, but Alyssa Petrova's got to hang in there. She's been setting the pace.
Yes.
So she's been trying to keep Lindsay off her back, and this is why I think that Lindsay's been settling in behind her and waiting for the moment to say, hold on a minute, this is mine.
Yeah.
And you watch the gap that has been formed. I can't quite see it yet with Esther, but as Esther Hurtabagiova kind of dropped right off, we don't know quite what happened with the pistol shoot, but this is a definite breakaway.
So Alyssa's just hanging in there on the heels of Lindsay Webster. She's got to keep the pace. Webster now just upping the pressure. Right, almost on cue, as if Steve has has an
premonition,
mate.
mate.
He has an earpiece.
I have run and trained with Lindsay a lot, and I've done a lot of camera work following her. I know her tactics. I know her style. This is what she does. She's done it with Nicole Miracle before. She's done it, with Alyssa last year. This is the battle that I was hoping for. This is absolutely brilliant. Now Alyssa's got to find that next level. She's told me she really wants it, so now she's got to prove that she really wants it.
It was absolutely a great point that you made just before, just about Webster's consistent pace for the first couple of laps. Like, it was really, really noticeable, wasn't it? Like, she didn't get sucked into, just kind of blasted ahead a little bit. Nope. She just kept it consistent, and now you're seeing that Webster's shifted up a gear.
Yes, and Alyssa's got to react to that, and she is reacting. She is still within a couple of seconds of Lindsay. She's got to keep that pressure on, because right now we see the gap just forming, as we see Esther definitely being gapped a fair bit on that, but still in there, still going to hold her third place pretty well. Again, guys, this is the third lap as we're seeing Lindsay just hit the bell, coming off that obstacle of monkey bar straight into the dunk wall in a moment with a well-deserved cool down.
A little bit of a rinse off as Lindsay Webster goes under the dunk wall. And we're about halfway into the final lap of the 3K World Championship in Abu Dhabi.
They've got the triple hurdles, and they've got the double sandbag carry to come for the third time. But Lindsay Webster, I believe, made a break right there, and she's got to hang on to that. Look at that gap right now with Alyssa Petrova. Dude, we've got the hurdles. Can Alyssa take this back? I mean, one little mistake. You know what? On the pistols, anything can happen. A drop sandbag, a slip, a something, and Lindsay's definitely making the right move at the right time. A very clever racer. What's brilliant as well is that, both of these have got incredible husbands as well. Lindsay Webster married to Ryan Atkins, and, Alyssa married to Sergey. It's the
lineage.
It's the battle of the power couples.
The lineage to come, if there would be one, is scary.
Holy smokes!
Let's talk about Alyssa here. I mean, both podiumed in the last couple of years in Abu Dhabi, and she is no stranger to competition here. Webster's certainly setting the tone, but Petrova will be. She won't be shaken by this, but she's certainly got to step it up now, because Webster's starting to hammer a little bit harder, and she's away very nicely on the double sandbag.
And she is, and Lindsay knows how to race. She's an incredibly clever racer, and the reason why I mentioned the husbands is because both the husbands are very intelligent racers as well, and they chat about this. They chat about the tactics. They chat about when to break, when to go. And I know Lindsay's incredible about this, about learning when to make that break and when to say, I'm gonna go. And this is, you're seeing it in action right now. And she's just got to hold on to it. She knows she can do the rig. She's got the grip strength to do the rig. And this is what's brilliant about this, is we've seen a lot of people fail the rig. It's because of this double sandbag carry. They're gripping onto it for dear life.
Just shot.
Especially if they're slipping off. And that, the grip strength, obviously, your forearms. And, it'd be absolutely pumped. She's got 4 obstacles. She's going to be world champion if she just keeps going. David, how big's the gap? We'll see it in a minute.
Yeah, look at that shot there. Yeah, she's really starting to pull away.
Wow.
But, as Steve said, the great thing about this format is that anything can happen, because, of course, we've got the multi-rig, and we've seen some real showdowns on the multi-rig over the years, some real drama. And then the real kicker here, metaphorically speaking, is the laser.
And the laser, yeah. I mean, you know, the heart rate's got to be through the roof. They've got to be redlining this. You know, one thing's really interesting. I haven't seen Lindsay look behind her. She doesn't. She's just focusing forward. And there is Alyssa right there. 6 seconds behind.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be...
Lindsay's just got to keep going. Come on, Alyssa.
It's going to be
She's coming up and over this.
really close. So Alyssa Petrova has to really hustle down the other side of that A-frame as we watch Webster up the slip wall.
This is for $20,000 for the first prize. Well done, Lindsay Webster. Here she comes in this final. What has she got left?
It looks like she's got everything left as she makes her way through the multi-rig and some of the strongest form she's shown today.
Oh, there's Alyssa right behind.
Oh man, this
no
is
mistakes going to be made.
Really going to come down to the wire.
Did Ida just take Esther for third place?
It looks like she certainly has.
See the finish.
Ida in third place.
All right, here's Lindsay for the win. 3 targets. 1, 2, 3.
Oh!
She's done it! Lindsay Webster
crossing the finish line, champion of the 3K here in Al Wathba, the 3K World Championship. You're watching history in the making as Lindsay Webster has taken it. And you said redlining, Steve. She was redlining.
What a battle. What an absolute battle. That was... Oh my goodness, I have my heart in my mouth. That was incredible.
Yeah, that really was.
Absolutely incredible. These athletes are seconds apart. Esther hanging on for third place. What a great run by Ida Steingard. What an incredible race, David.
Yeah, this was just exemplified the format, and I think that massive congratulations to those athletes. They put on such a good show, and if it'd have to be... I mean, it doesn't matter whether this is your first kind of OCR race or maybe you've been watching this for years. As we watch Lindsay Webster talking to husband Ryan Atkins there, looks pretty calm, doesn't he? I mean, yeah, I think he did well. I think he did pretty well.
that's Ryan in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So here you are, your 5-time world champion Spartan race.
It's absolutely
Ladies
ridiculous.
Winner.
And you know what, Steve?
She's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Lindsay Webster.
Don't you think she's taken it to just a sort of another realm now? Okay, so what I mean by that is she's proven herself over the traditional distances.
She was supposed to be retired. She
exactly.
bought a coffee shop,
right? And I don't think anyone, right? I don't think anyone out there would take that away from her. But what she's done now, she's taken it to a whole nother level, hasn't she? She's now said, okay, speedy multi-lap short course format. Oh, I can do that too.
Absolutely incredible from tons of different. I mean, she was Sky Race World Champion last year, so she's got such an incredible background of of achievements and accolades. As we see Esther and Alyssa just recovering and congratulating each other.
Look at the look at those. By the way, in the opening of the show, if you've been with us since then, you saw the medal from last year. The medal from this year, if what they've got around the neck, that is a beautiful medal.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal. And it's just, the camaraderie between, all these girls, absolutely adore each other. And you can see that the smiles around. Esther gave it absolutely everything to really, really make sure that Ida did not get third place. Now,
yeah, it was a bit misleading there too, because we saw Ida coming over the A-frame.
Yeah,
right.
She was right behind.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's Yanka Popova. We just saw. God, she must have been quick on the old the shoot there, bringing home 5th place, I believe it, for Yanka Popova. Who said to me earlier, actually, in the 3K race in Mexico, that was her final race. She has some problems with her knees, and she was going to retire from Spartan. And here she is, 5th place. She'd be absolutely stoked by that. Yanka Popova. Well done to all these ladies. An absolutely incredible performance on what I thought was a really, really, really tough course.
I think something that really appeals to everybody out there about Lindsay Webster is just her demeanour at all times. Whether she's competing on and off the course, she's always just completely bubbly, upbeat, and happy. Steve, you've got some times there. You're just pulling up. Oh, you're just saying that there's a few issues with the timing there.
Yeah, timing right now is not quite what we see on, but that's
fine.
That happens.
We'll get the actual times to you guys, and you can get a bit of an understanding of what they did the 3K time in for the ladies. And we just go next door, and next door to history being made, we're going to see more history being made with the men's final for the 3K World Championship.
And
13.
Here we go. We've got Ryan Atkins. We've got Gade. Is that Eugenio? I think that's Eugenio right there. We've got VJ Jones. God, this is absolutely packed. Absolutely packed. Now,
you'll find searching for adjective.
Searching words.
Yeah.
I was at the same time. I was looking for Rylan Shadegg to see if it had been a timing mistake, but I cannot see him there. So obviously
that is
happened on
that is an upset. That is a shock.
Huge
that is a
upset.
shock situation we have here.
But that may be a simple mistake on multi-rig.
On the multi-rig, which is so funny because I guess. We were talking just before that about how consistent he's been in the previous qualifying rounds.
I think you said it as he probably fell off.
As he probably fell off. Yeah, a bit like the call you just engineered with Lindsay.
Yeah, I could see it brewing from a.
It's a great call.
It's interesting seeing it's great footage, and we thank you for the team to bring us this an amazing live coverage. But the drone was just amazing to kind of see that unfold, and see that move being made. It's just such an incredible performance.
We're gonna get going,
Alyssa.
Yeah, we're gonna get going here. Sorry to cut you off, Steve. I was gonna say this is gonna take off right now. Yeah. And they're off. And this is the men's 3K World Championship. VJ Jones setting the pace early on, and we are away in Al Wathba, Stevie.
Oh, here we go. Now, I can't pick it, but I do know that VJ is very hungry for this. And I know that with the double sandbag carry 3 times, Ryan Atkins has got to be... Whoa, chomping at the bit to be going, I just got to hang in there. And, yeah.
That's pretty much the way he called it.
We've got a, European champion as well. We've got, Savini. I'd love to see how he fares. He's not done many Spartan races, but he was the 3K FISO world champion, and also came second. So we know he can run as well in the 14K. Very capable person as well. So who is this out in front? Is that Eugenio?
Yep, Mexico.
Yep.
And you got VJ Jones in second. So this will be only heating up from here. Godinez.
Yeah,
in the lead.
Is it Godinez? I think you're right. Well, we'll soon see when the camera gets back down to feet level. We'll be able to identify. But, explain this, Davey. We've got this, obviously we keep talking about tactics. They're going off super fast. Do the athletes kind of worry if they find themselves in kind of, 8th or 9th place and they're one of the favourites, as we saw Ryan Atkins just going over there probably in around that?
No, I don't think so. And we know, as you really pointed out before, with both Ryan Atkins and Lindsay Webster, they're such experienced tacticians that they know, everything is a calculation for them. It would be very unlikely for Ryan to be back there against his own wishes. Yep. Ryan will make a decision to push when Ryan decides it's time to push.
Yeah.
And
like we said with Lindsay, he is also, as Lindsay's such a clever racer, she might be sharing some words of wisdom with Ryan with tactics as well, as we see most of the pack on monkey bars as we speak. Just a couple of different tactics there of going through, a couple of techniques.
There's a sweet spot, isn't there, Steve? You know, in terms of where you want to be in the pack after the first lap. I think that
there is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we almost saw the women in the women's race. We saw them kind of settle down as a kind of a pack of four. They kind of made the break. I think it's going to be a little bit more intense with the men. As there's,
competitively, you mean?
Yeah, I think so. You know, as we're watching Sergei Pellegrini right there.
Close enough.
Close enough. as you can tell, I'm not the best with names, but I've got David here to correct me every step of the way.
Sergei will do. Sergei's easy enough. And, you know, most of these athletes have become sort of OCR, at least household names. Certainly not the sport, you know, we're getting there in terms of, you know, recognition around the world. But in the OCR world, you know, names like Sergei, you know him. And just, you know, we saw that footage at the start of our broadcast here with Sergei last year, taking the honours for the World Championship in 2022.
Absolutely, current world champion.
And Steve, how many of the athletes that you've been talking to will be going for the double? Will be racing today and tomorrow for the Beast World Championship as well? You
know what? A few are. You know, there's a couple of people who are solely focusing on tomorrow's race to be crowned
Beast.
The Beast race. Who won Greece race this year? My mind's just slipping. But French athlete.
Thibaut.
No,
not
Thibaut. I remember it in a minute, and I'll come back to that. Yeah, absolutely. But
it's been a long day.
As we can see, lot of little changes going on with the double sandbag carry. Basilico, there we go.
Sorry, what did I say?
I know.
Gregory Basilico.
Gregory Basilico. He told me he was saving himself.
Forgive us,
Didn't
guys.
want to get involved with this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been here very early on in the morning. Anyway, so Eugenio Godinez is in first. I believe that is VJ and Ryan Atkins. You can tell I'm tired.
It's all right. We'll get you guys through this. We'll get you guys through this one way or another. You know, there's only probably a handful of athletes that kind of look at a double sandbag and go, "Yep, I look forward to this. I love this." That's Ryan.
As I said earlier, I mean Ryan, but VJ, we just saw him there. I mean, he said, "You go, Steve. I've been practicing it."
Do you remember Spartan Games 2? VJ on the functional fitness on the Decker, and he was absolutely crushing the sled. I don't know if you remember that footage.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that was like a lot of people when they saw that capability of VJ, because before then he was a skinny kid that could run fast.
He put some muscle on, mate.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, he's a big boy.
Yeah, and he's
strong.
Yeah, he's strong, and he's surprisingly strong. You know, when you now, of course, he's at least buffed up a little bit, but previously, I think people didn't think that VJ had that strength, and he's really proved to the world. Not only can he run really, really fast, but he's got the strength.
Now look at this. We've got a couple of the Czech athletes just at the hills as well. I think that was Pavel Hajdina and Peter Victory just behind. Oh, that pause! You know, did that cost him a couple of seconds? We don't know. See Ryan Atkins very smooth on there. VJ Jones. Very smooth on this. Oh, look at that bit of touching bodies. And Atkins, did you see how smooth Atkins was on that? As Godinez is struggling here, can he get through? I mean, he's got to do that 2 more times. So that will also be going through his head as Hardino has also gone through.
That's double sandbag syndrome right there, isn't it?
Yes. There we go. Lap 1. VJ Jones is your... Wow, that was a quick lap.
Yeah, that was a very quick lap. VJ Jones in the lead. And he's going to get back out there for the second of 3 laps. We have 13 men competing for the Spartan 3K World Championship. After 2 knockout rounds, 37 men went down to 25. And now the final 13, featuring a really globally strong contingent of athletes.
Yeah. So, round 2, here we go.
Little downhill as they come from the Al Wathba Resort area. Beautiful hotel here where the race is hosted. If you haven't been here, it's just a fantastic venue. Little speedy section. This is exactly where you stitch me up with Lindsay Webster. I'm going to walk that section of the course later and just.
I do.
As I pay you.
I do know the course
you
very
do.
intimately.
yeah. As I pay Steve the dues that the bet that he was writing down on the paper in front of us.
So from the air, I actually thought that was Ryan Atkins. So he must have had Ryan must have had a little trouble on the pistol shoot there.
Am I imagining things that Ryan looks even bigger than ever? Like in terms of the muscle mass he's carrying at the moment.
Maybe, but look at Eugenio here, coming up behind. And we know he's a quick runner. It seen him race in Mexico, and he's a sub 5 minute miler over many miles. I think it was like a 1:24 marathon racer. Very, very quick. I think it was Pavel Hardina, and there's Ryan Atkins. Probably lost a couple of seconds on the pistol shoot. Leon Cofford always running with a smile. Maybe a bit more of a grimace, but we can call it a smile, Leo. Go on, from Denmark. There we go.
There it is.
Fantastic. So VJ's really...
He looks very, very, very comfortable. Beautiful rhythm, beautiful stride. Lovely turnover despite the soft sand. He just looks so comfortable.
Well, I think he's the fittest he has ever been at the moment. And, as we're on lap 2 right now, this will really come into fruition for him as he is coming around with, we know that Eugenio has got an incredible leg speed, probably more so than VJ. However, look how proficient VJ is. He didn't even bother with the step. He just went straight up, jumped straight at it, knew that was a second that he can gain on that. And that was absolutely beautiful as he goes through that. As I said, these obstacles, although monkey bars are very easy obstacles, nobody's going to fail it, but it's the 2 second.
Well, that's the thing, and I think
I'll keep saying it.
Yeah,
because this is what makes a difference between a world champion and 6th place.
That's the thing, and I think people that maybe are newer to understanding this format of obstacle course racing will say, well, what do you mean? It always is flat monkey bars, or like it's not that hard. Yeah, but hang on, they're doing 3 laps after 2 qualifying rounds.
Yeah, and it's not the question of, I don't want to be seeing, people struggle through the obstacles and failing every single one. I want to be seeing athletes work out what's the quickest way I can get through that. How can I get that second away? You can see VJ didn't even touch the hurdles with his feet. Every other athlete is taking maybe that second or 2 to go over those. We've got a battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right there in front of you. Eugenio Godinez, who was that? Was that Pavel Hardino, I believe? And Ryan Atkins right there. That battle is going to be immense as we see VJ Jones at the double sandbag carry for the 2nd time. They've got 1 more lap to go after this.
This is a chance for Atkins to try and make up a bit of time, but he's going to have to hustle right now to get through the double sandbag.
And he can.
And he can. He's got the ability. He's got the strength. I think that it was a really good point that you made just about VJ's proficiency through the obstacles. And there's that fine balance between technique and a little bit of extra energy expenditure at the right time, to go through quicker.
Yep.
And
look at Ryan going now.
Exactly. He is just humming. He knows that this is his bread and butter, and I
think is he in 4th right now? Is that Godinez?
Yes.
So it's Godinez.
Godinez was humming there, but
wow.
Ryan is humming back there. Godinez going for the heels of VJ Jones. They're going to have to do this again. And
look at the time made up by Eugenio Godinez from Mexico. I thought for a minute that was Ryan Atkins, but Ryan's got some funky yellow gaiters.
Yeah, we saw Ryan back in 4th, I believe.
We'll see where he is just now.
Yeah.
So, did Godinez... Now, how much did that take it out of Godinez?
Probably a fair bit, because he was really pushing. But VJ Jones has just upped the pace a little bit as well. And they're going to be coming back into the main festival area to take care of some rigs.
I'm going to call this right now because
when
they come back round, you'll see VJ with a good gap. We just saw how efficient he was on multi-rig and on the laser shoot. Godinez just had that pause on the steps, and then he had a slight pause again, a second or two, and I believe he will drop right off the pace. But I mean, maybe I'm calling that out a little bit too early. But you know, we've got I think, is that Pete Vickery or is that Pavel Hardina? I can't quite tell what Czech athlete that is in third place right now, with Ryan Atkins also on the A-frame.
Hardina or Vinicki from Czech. We'll figure it out.
And here we go. And I believe that they're actually catching Eugenio on this lap, but we'll see.
Give you an idea too about how smoothly he's moving. You can check out the people running alongside.
I know,
right? Like VJ's moving. With
VJ's already gapped. So that was not even, what was that? 80 yards, 3 obstacles, and all of a sudden that's 10 seconds.
Yeah, let's watch. Let's watch his shooting here too, because he's gotten really good at his laser pistol.
Just at the bottom of your screen right there, Eugenio did fall off, so that's Ryan Atkins now in third place. Eugenio Godinez is on the penalty loop. Gutted for him, because he is a phenomenal athlete. But how far has that taken out?
Well, you called it again, Stevie. You called it again. You said how much he put a fair bit of juice down, didn't he, on the double sandbag?
Well, we know how much. Well, I know personally how much grip strength that takes out of me, that double sandbag carry. And as we're watching VJ Jones, absolute masterclass here, and there is your gap.
Yep, there's the gap. Exactly, there is your gap. Tell us a little bit about VJ's training for everybody at home that might not be as familiar.
So VJ moved to the mountains a couple of years ago. He's in Colorado, and he specifically, you know, he moved there to become a Spartan world champion. This is his build up for this. He has been doing a lot of other cross training. I think that's Pavel Hardina, was really he's really on his tail. But just in terms of training for VJ, he came last year, and I think he came 11th in the Super. He kind of avoids the beasts and the longer races, rather than, you know, Ryan and Rylan will do everything. You know, and again Hardina as well.
I think we have the stat too that VJ has won 20 of his last 25 Spartan competitive events, which is...
That sounds very much like a Jack Bauer stat that he provides a lot of our stats.
That's a
massive shout out to...
That's a big shout out to Jack
Bauer.
Actually, we should definitely say, thank you to Jack. He's just so good.
Funny enough, guess what? One of Jack Bauer's training partners is his boy here, VJ Jones, and I think that, Jack kind of gave the nod of like, yes, VJ's on it now. And you asked about his kind of training and ability. Again, another second there without touching it, just, you know, effortless going over. And we are watching a world champion here. We're watching a world champion performance. It's incredible. VJ's amazing. I remember, you know, running alongside him at 16 years old going,
we have something.
Yeah.
It's interesting, the point you make there, just like, you said you're going to say it all weekend, and I think it's a good thing that you do, that the second here, second there. In terms of this, this format of the sport, let's put 100 meter aside for a second. Different type of training, but the focus on obstacle proficiency when we're talking about short course in training, when we're talking about seconds, has just gone up a few levels, hasn't it? I mean, of course it was always important, but now when we're talking about seconds making the difference over this short course format, I think we're going to see some real adjustments in the sort of athletes coming through and the sort of training that they subscribe to. VJ's clearly figured it out, and Steve's also doing some counting to figure out the splits here.
I can't count and talk at the same time.
You're about 12 seconds.
So really interesting about obstacle proficiency there. So what I was counting just before, because we saw him right before monkey bars, right? He was 6 seconds just before monkey bars. He was 13 seconds coming out of dunk wall. So just in that small amount of time with the monkey bars, you know, he's doubled his time just from 2 little obstacles against the Czech athlete right there. VJ Jones coming into one of the final obstacles.
Still, as you said before, just some beautiful technique. You know, no feet needed, just a little kind of like
pop,
squat.
Pop.
Bam.
So this is the final gauntlet. He's got double sandbags. He's got A-frame to come. He's got A-frame, slip wall, multi-rig, pistol shoot to become world champion. But I believe it's Hardino, and I can't say that with 100% confidence.
I think we also saw just Lindsay Webster. I think we'll go past on camera there. I think it was Lindsay.
Oh yeah, Lindsay probably shouting at her husband,
shouting at Ryan Atkins, who we haven't seen on the screen for a fair bit.
I want more money. Hurry up!
Ooh, that's pretty tough to man, isn't it? When your wife's a world champion.
I did my part.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want that nice new bike? I'll get one.
Right.
Anyway.
This isn't far off it. Yeah, and you know, we're just seeing, as Steve calls it, a masterclass. I really think it is, because the proficiency, the ability to run, we saw his ability to also up the speed and then back to his standard rhythm that he's chosen for this event.
Now, not to be the commentator's curse at all, but we did talk about Rylan Shadegg, who was very, very smooth on that. But I just can't see VJ slipping up on any obstacles. He's got a bit of time. He could take his time and enjoy it because he made a good gap.
You got any splits there, Steve, or not yet?
No splits at all. But there's, I think that's Peter Vickrig in possibly moved into 4th place, maybe 3rd place. Struggling to see who's coming in. Did Hardina take VJ Jones?
I'm just trying to figure this out. Surely.
I think no. I think VJ Jones has already.
VJ Jones has got a lap up there. I'm trying to figure out.
Did we miss something? We did.
We did.
We didn't. We're seeing an absolute bonk from VJ, but can he hold on there? Wow, this is absolutely incredible. He must have had one of the Pavel Hardina, I believe it is Hardina.
Steve and I are just kind of looking at each other. This is unbelievable.
What happened on that double sandbag carry? Here we are. An
if you're shocked,
incredible finish. I'm lost for words.
Me too. I just got to look at each other.
VJ Jones can't even stand up.
VJ's coming into the rig first here, and we were both looking at each other. Goes, he lapped it. He goes, no, he hasn't lapped him.
Oh my gosh!
This is actually
all going to go down onto the pistol shoot. Here he is.
VJ Jones looks
taxed. Staggering. He's staggering.
He is absolutely knackered. He goes over the...
He's got it!
He's accurate as hell.
Oh my God!
VJ Jones has pulled it out of the bag. He looked like he was going to die. He crosses the finish line in first. VJ Jones takes the 3K World Championship. Steve Hammond is next to it with his head in his hands. I
don't know what happened.
I wish I could hear the comments from him there. Clearly, he has come through in number 1. Both Steve and I are absolutely speechless. We're like, hang on, VJ's lapping something. No, he's not. It is on. And VJ Jones managed to hang on after losing what looked to be quite a lot of time after the carry.
That is absolutely incredible. Oh my goodness me. Atkins with his 3rd place. Oh, that's Joe's daughter right there, giving him the medal. What an incredible finish that is.
I mean, I'm speechless. Ryan Atkins has really done something pretty magical there as well. Really good job by him. We're watching VJ Jones. Steve Hammond is like, you're speechless right now.
I am. What an absolutely incredible. There's your top 3 there, guys. Just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant finish. And then we got Leon Corfette coming in, representing Denmark.
And the smile,
looking on.
The grimace has gone to a smile.
There we go.
Yeah. Wow, that was a really, really special finish. Maybe you guys at home were a little less confused than us, and or maybe not. That was a pretty massive lead that VJ had, and then all of a sudden it was neck and neck.
Come on, here we see, obviously people fighting for that top 10 position, and the multi-rig is causing a few problems here and there. Oh, unbelievable.
Just a fantastic course, a fantastic race all around. We're just seeing some absolute magic happen out here. The sun looking really beautiful in the background of these shots. You're watching some brilliant athletes smashing out a 3K multi-lap format. 2 qualifying rounds for the men led into the final, and 1 qualifying round into the final for the women. 37 started for the men, and it came down to 1 VJ Jones, 15 in the women, and 1, of course, by Lindsay Webster, adding another bit of silverware or goldware or whatever you like to call it to her trophy cabinet.
So absolutely unreal. VJ Jones with an incredible time. 11 seconds off from Pavel Hardina from the Czech Republic. 3 seconds beating Ryan Atkins.
I mean, it was just, we were kind of like, we had to check ourselves for a minute there because Pavel just kind of put it on.
He came up from nowhere.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, he's being lapped. No, Pavel's not being lapped.
No. It was all of a sudden, and somewhere we lost, like, maybe I was looking down. I don't really know.
But it was odd.
But I suddenly lost part of the race, and all of a sudden we got VJ and Pavel together. And Pavel must have had an absolutely unbelievable double sandbag
He's had a
carry.
blinder.
But we saw VJ run off that, and he just kind of went, that kind of noise of the face up to the side, with a couple of stubbles here and there.
Yeah. How
How he held that together, I want to ask him. Unbelievable, because I thought he had it in the bag with 100 yards to go. But no.
From the dunk wall, the lead was increasing.
It was good.
Increasing.
Good. We went from 6 seconds to 13 seconds. We talked about that. He talked about how he could do it. Now you can see how he's explaining. I'd love to hear this interview of what he's saying. Maybe we can turn that noise on the camera. But
we'll get some socials, obviously. We'll get some socials out there. We'll get all the information for you guys, and you can hear it directly.
I'm elated for him, mate. I'm absolutely elated for VJ Jones, your world champion, 2023 3K world champion. Wow.
He's waited a long time. He's built it up, right, Stevie, over the years. He's been, consistently just right up there, and finally he gets what he deserves. Crosses the finish line in first at a world championship.
So your top 5, as we're seeing more people cross the finishing line. VJ Jones, Pavel Hardina, 2nd place. Ryan Atkins, 3rd. There's your podium right there. Absolutely awesome. Leon Kufford from Denmark bringing in 4th place. And Peter Vickney coming in 5th place. Wow. Now, Sergey bringing in 6th. Eugenio Godinez got off. So he came in 7th.
So
he
guns it on the double sandbag.
He does. And comes in and falls off.
Bonks on the run to the, then falls off the multi-rig.
Absolutely awesome. That is a world-class event, guys. I'm going to hand it back to David to wrap this up. As you see the sun setting, what a beautiful, absolute stunning race that we had there.
We're going to maybe get out there ourselves, Stevie. We'll maybe turn the legs over a little bit and get a little bit of sunset action. Hammond and Watson. We'll do a couple of laps ourselves. It's been great to be with you guys. It's been a lot of fun. Look at Steve. I mean, I'm
exhausted.
I'm exhausted too.
Watching that.
Yeah, try to follow along too with us. I hope you've enjoyed the roller coaster of madness. But I'm just really excited that we're able to have a 3K World Championship in the desert, with Abu Dhabi Sports Council hosting us here at Al Wathba. I'm really happy that we've been able to see this. We've dreamed about this for many years, Steve.
We have, yeah. We've done a lot of planning, and we're going to have more shenanigans from David Watson tomorrow, more mistakes with names as well from me, Steve Hammond. It's going to be awesome.
We're going to
join us tomorrow.
We will. We'll be here for the Beast World Championship. We can't wait for you guys to join us. You'll get the links on YouTube. Take a look at the socials. We'll get all sorts of information from VJ.
What a race!
Steve will lose his mind. He'll be talking about it all night. We love you guys. And check out Spartan.com for the closest race to you. We'll see you tomorrow.
As a member of the Spartan community, you can save up to 60% off hotels worldwide by booking with Hotel Engine. Go ahead and use this QR code to claim your free account, and you'll have access to search for rooms, find the perfect fit, and earn both hotel loyalty points and Hotel Engine rewards at the same time, which can quickly add up to getting you free hotel stays. Plus, if you need to book for a group, we'll call hotels on your behalf and negotiate rates for you. All you have to do is sit back, review your options, and choose the best hotel for your group. Once you book a hotel, whether it's for a group or for yourself, our team's available 24/7 to help modify reservations and make sure your stay goes smoothly. And if you're not a Spartan but want to get up to 60% off hotels, all you need is a business email to sign up. There are no fees, no contracts, and no catches. Go to hotelengine.com to sign up with your business email today. And for all the Spartans out there, visit hotelengine.com/Spartan to claim your account.
Thousands of Spartans from 85 different countries across the globe flocked to Al Wathba to tackle monstrous sand dunes beneath the blue open sky. In the men's field, Sergei Perelygin, who has 3 Spartan regional championship titles to his name, along with nearly 20 career podiums in the desert terrain, returned with a vengeance to dethrone the reigning champion Ryan Atkins and take first place in a time of 1 hour 3 minutes and 47 seconds over the 10-kilometre course. Atkins crossed the finish line in 1 hour 3 minutes and 59 seconds, followed by Jeremy Gachette just a few minutes later.
Today I feel my dream. I began to Spartan from 2015, and it always was my dream. But it's only second attempt where I can come for World Championship, and I feel I can do it, but it was much stress for me. Continuous from here with Ryan, very good battle, but this race I couldn't do it. I'm very happy. Believe in your dream, it can happen. Thank you, Spartan.
To no one's surprise, in the women's race, the greatest Spartan racer of all time, Lindsay Webster took top spot. This win, in a time of 1 hour 12 minutes and 49 seconds, was not only a personal milestone for Webster, but she also made Spartan history with the most consecutive wins of all time, 17. The Spartan GOAT hasn't lost a Spartan race since September 2019.
I can't believe it's already finally over because we spent so long to prepare for this event, and then it's over within an hour, and you spend so many days in your hotel being nervous and all this preparation, and so I'm excited that I won, and I'm sort of sad that it's already over, and yeah, it's beautiful. It's such an experience. And athletes love to push themselves really, really hard. We love that feeling. We're strange like that, and after sitting in the hotel room for so long and feeling excited for this event, it just feels so good to get out and run.